If you ask people in the West about devastating terrorist incidents in the 21st century, you'll commonly get a few answers. 9/11, the London Underground bombings, the Madrid train bombings, things like that. However, if you ask somebody from Russia about it, they'll give you a completely different answer. On the 1st of September 2004, in this city, Beslan, in the state of North Ossetia, Alania, a group of armed terrorists stormed a school number 1, on the first day of school of the year. The militants were sent here from Chechnya by a Chechen warlord to demand that Chechnya becomes independent from the Russian Federation. The occupation of the school lasted from September the 1st till September the 3rd, 3 whole days. Inside and imprisoned within the school were over 1,000 people, including 800 school children. On the 3rd day of occupation, Russian security forces decided it was time to end the siege, and they stormed the school. Using tanks and other incendiary weapons, they took the school back from the terrorists. However, the siege didn't end happily. Over 300 people died, 334, and that included 186 children, the rest being teachers and mainly Russian security forces. In the following days after the siege, hundreds of people were sent to hospitals, and the hospitals here were unequipped to handle such an influx of people, and many people died following the siege. Another problem was the local cemetery was far too small, and with hundreds of burials coming, they had to expand the cemetery to fit all the people who died in the local cemetery. 3 days after the siege, 180 people were still missing. A couple days after the siege had ended, President Vladimir Putin came to visit Beslan. Following his visit, he ordered 2 days of mourning to be observed nationwide, and on the second day of mourning, hundreds of thousands of people came out in places like Palace Square and Red Square in other cities in Russia to protest against terrorism. The impact of the terrorist attack was far-reaching, and it really changed the face of Russia and North Ossetia in terms of power and who elects leaders directly in each individual region. Today I'm in the city of Beslan, and the school is there, right behind me. I'm now inside the gym, the part of the school where so many children were murdered. We see on the wall the pictures and the names of everybody who died. If we go take a look, we can see the year they were born. We see children and we see teachers. Many of these children were around my age. I was born 1994. And we see here 95, 96, 92. Many of these children now would be like me, 24, exploring the world. We see here hundreds of toys brought by people who came here to pay their respects to the dead. You walk around, you see just teddies after teddies after teddies. We can see that people around the world have been here because we see flags. Here we see Moldova. Over there we have Poland, Moscow region, Abkhazia, Donetsk, and even over here we have something from France. This gym where the Russian army stormed is now a memorial to hundreds of the dead. I have to say it's pretty emotional being in here. If you look behind me where this basketball net is, you can see hundreds of holes from gunshots in the wall. Just a reminder of what went on here in what was the first day of school for so many children. We also see here written all over the walls of the gym things, phrases, locations where people came from, everyone saying, "We mourn with you, we remember with you, we are with you." Opposite here we see the cross. On the other side of the facing wall is a guest book. If you read through this guest book, you can see places from all over the world, people writing to come here to pay their respects, to show their condolences and their solidarity with the people of Beslan and North Ossetia. This hole down here underneath this basketball hoop was where the Russian army first blew a hole to enter this gym to end the siege. The men who stuck their head through here were ruthlessly shot and murdered by the terrorists here in Beslan. Next to the gym is the main part of the school, and if you have a look inside, you can see here there's graffiti from people from all over Russia and all over the world. But what is most striking is just the number of bullet holes absolutely everywhere. Next to the school, many people lay wreaths, and if you read them, you can see what city the wreath has come from, and almost always this phrase, Skolim I pomnim, we mourn and we remember. Over here we see on the walls the list of names of everybody who died, and when you see them all down there in a row, you understand just how many people over 300 really is. On the wall next to the school is a list of names of everybody who died in this attack. When you hear a number, it really doesn't strike anything within you, but when you read all those individual names, all those individual people, you really understand the pain that this city must have felt. When planning my trip here to the North Caucasus, it was incredibly important for me to come and visit this place. This place has shaped the recent history of North Ossetia and the North Caucasus and Russia as a whole. And to come here is almost necessary to understand the local history here and understand the mentality of people who live here. The history of the North Caucasus has been shaped by generations of Chechen wars, and here in this school a generation of people died without even being able to defend themselves. School number 1 here is an incredibly emotional place, half memorial, half graveyard. It's really hard to picture how many kids who died in there, and nowadays the school has become a colourful memorial to them all. Never forget.